Cassia grandis. Today, I am not interested in the exam procedures of church school students. I just want to tell you about my poor friends who studied in a church school, and our childhood snack, nosh, of Cassia grandis. During school holidays, we often gathered in the churchyard, in front of the classrooms to play hopscotch and skipping rope. It was easy for children to make friends, to mix with lively games in a fun way, and play so long that we all felt hungry and tired. They, I knew, on regular days when they were studying in the church school, took from their pockets the black clumps and shared them to eat. Curiously, I stepped nearer. A friend named Cuck asked, "Do you eat?" Huong looked at me. She is rich kid. She doesn't know how to eat this food. Cuck gave me a piece. Seeing them use their teeth for peeling, I felt a little shy. Mai took a piece to her ear and shook several times. Seeing me bewildered, Huong explained, "She is checking if there are worms inside. Worms eat all the meat of the Cassia grandis, leaving only seeds. If we shake it, we will hear the sound of clop clop." Cuck said there were no worms. She took my piece back, peeled it out, splitting it into slices and handed the slices to me. I ate the slices and it felt sweet. I said it would be fine to let me peel the bark by myself. Cuck stopped me. "Let me split it for you. The worms will bite your lips painfully." "Just finished," Huong exclaimed. "The demon worm just bit my lips." Huong's lips were slightly swollen. She licked her lips a few times then, went on eating. I asked where they bought this fruit. Huong laughed out loud. "There are 2 or 3 Cassia grandis trees in front of my grandmother's house, which is on the other side of the Y letter bridge. When its season comes, every weekend we go over there to pick them up. With both eating and selling their fruit does not run out." They both peeled and ate Cassia grandis very fast. Occasionally, someone shouted because their lips were bitten by the worms. Eating several slices I felt bored, but I dared not say no. I could not refuse each slice Cuck carefully separated for me. Fortunately, Huong shouted, "Let's play, guys." We ran out to the yard and continued jumping rope happily. Playing made us bored, so we sang, "Short-tailed Cuck who raised you up." "Yes, Sister Huong, I grew up by myself." I thought Cuck got angry, unexpectedly, or she laughed out happily. Singing made us bored again, so we drew the board and played hopscotch again, until the church bell rang at midday and we all went home. The next day, I brought a wrap of chocolate to invite them to share. Unexpectedly, Cuck, who had just bitten a piece of chocolate into her mouth, quickly spewed it out. So bitter, even Huong, my Lan, refused the chocolate. They all sat and gnawed Cassia grandis. Seeing that, I asked for one chunk to eat by splitting it by myself. I didn't finish with a small chunk, they had already eaten up the big ones. We were both eating and telling all about our neighbors, our stories in class. On the following day I bought leper hand cakes and cookies to invite them. Everyone ate happily, but it seemed Cassia grandis was their favorite food. I went to high school and they no longer learned in the church school because they had already finished elementary school. During my days off, I went to the churchyard and only saw Cuck sitting and watching the students play. Cuck said other friends had to help their parents trade. In a few more days, Cuck would also be helping her mother work as a housekeeper for their rich relative, according to her description. The season of Cassia grandis was over. I gave her a bag of cookies, she was eating them reluctantly. I said if there must have been Cassia grandis to eat, Cuck replied sadly. It is happy to eat Cassia grandis with a crowd of friends. I was busy studying. On holidays, I went out with my classmates, my schoolmates and, gradually forgot our friends from the church school. Several decades later, on a trip to the West Provinces, the tourist guide pointed out a Cassia grandis tree on the side of the road that was heavy with fruit. Instantly, I felt teary. Living more than 60 years in the world, I recognized the old saying of Huong. She is a rich kid and doesn't know how to eat this food. A true saying of a pure child's soul. It is completely different from the cynical sarcastic sayings I have heard when the speaker felt something less than I did. How I love the image of Cuck carefully splitting every slice of Cassia grandis for me. That church school was demolished a few years later to be replaced by a more spacious signboard school. Of course, the students had to pay money, but the school fee was very, very cheap. They were supposed to study in high school with me, but they had to go about to help their parents trade or do jobs as housekeepers. Looking up at the Cassia grandis tree, I seem to hear our laughter echo around here with the lyrics. Short-tailed Cuck, who raised you up? Yes, Sister Huong, I grew up by myself. And the saying of Huong. There are 2 or 3 Cassia grandis trees in front of my grandmother's house, which is on the other side of the Y letter bridge. With both eating and selling, their fruit does not run out. Cassia grandis. In Vietnamese, this fruit is called o moi, the same name used for lesbians. I don't know what it is called in English. I have to use its scientific name. Want to read more? Buy now at Amazon.com. Come on, let's join me on the timeship back to Saigon that lives only in our memories.